Welcome, students. Today's lesson is called Elimination using Addition and Subtraction. It's where we're going to eliminate either x or y, solve for the one we don't eliminate, and then we'll plug that one into one of the equations to find the one we eliminated. It's another way to find the solution to a set of linear equations. When you have two linear equations that they give you, you're going to draw a line under it and treat it like either an addition or a subtraction problem. When you look at your variables, your x's and your y's, find two x's or two y's that have the same coefficient. Like to begin with, we have a negative 4x and a 4x. And so we're going to eliminate our x's first because they're exactly the same. They are already opposite signs, so we will simply add these two equations together. And we'll just work down vertically. Negative 4x plus 4x gives us 0. It's gone. And then positive 3y and a negative 5y leaves negative 2y. Equal sign comes down. Negative 3 and 5 leaves a positive 2. And then you keep solving, and we get y is negative 1. Once you get one of your variables, you're going to pick one of your original equations and plug in negative 1 for y. And let's use the top one where we have negative 4x plus 3y equals negative 3. I'm going to plug my negative 1 in for y, so it's negative 4x plus 3 times negative 1 equals negative 3. Negative 4x minus 3 equals negative 3. And we'll add our 3, add 3. And we'll end up with negative 4x equals 0. And of course, anything divided by 0 is 0. So now our solution to this equation is x is 0 and y is negative 1. And there's our answer. That is elimination. And you can check these by plugging your x and your y in to both equations and see if you get a true statement each time. It's quite easy to check. Make sure you're right. Let's go to another example. Okay, when we look at this one, we see that our the t's have the same coefficient. However, the signs are also the same, so they won't be eliminated if you put them together. So what we're going to do is put a negative 1 in front of the bottom equation. So you're applying a negative 1 to everything in the bottom. So what that's going to do is change the signs of everything. Let me scoot it over just a little bit. So we're going to say negative 1 times 3r is a negative 3r, positive 6, and a negative 15. So I've applied the negative 1. I can ignore it now. Now I can eliminate or put my equations together by adding. 6r and negative 3r leaves a positive 3r. My 6's cancel. 6 t's cancel. Then 6 and negative 15 leaves a negative 9. Then divide by 3. R gives us a negative 3. Well, we've found our R. Now we're going to take R and plug it into one of our equations. I'll use the top one. 6 times R, so 6 times negative 3 equals, or not equals, I'm sorry, minus 6t equals 6. So I used this one and plugged in R right here for R. 6 times negative 3 is negative 18 minus 6t equals 6. We'll add 18 over here, and then we'll be left with negative 6t equals 24. Divide by negative 6, and then t will give us a negative 4. And when you list an ordered pair, when you don't have x and y, just put them in alphabetical order. So we'll list our r first, negative 3, and our t second. So our point is negative 3, negative 4. And that's the solution to both equations. Let's do another one. When we look at this one, our x's have the same variable, same coefficient, and so do our y's. But our y's are what we're going to use because our x's have the same, they're both positive, but our y's are one's positive, one's negative. So that's what we're going to eliminate as our y. But first thing is I'm going to rewrite the second one where the y is first so it can line them up correctly. So let's start by writing 4y plus 3x equals 22. I'm just going to bring this one straight over. Then this one I'm going to switch it around where my y is first. So the negative 4y comes in front. The positive 3x goes next. And then the equals 14. I didn't change signs. I just changed the order. And now I can line them up. Y's are gone. 3x and 3x make 6x. 22 and 14 make 36. Then we come over here and divide by 6. And our x value is 6. Now we can plug 6 in, pick one of these. I'll do the bottom one this time. 3 times 6 minus 4y equals 14. Remember, it doesn't matter which one you plug x in. 3 times 6 is 18 minus 4y equals 14. We will subtract 18 first. Negative 4y is remaining, leaving negative 4. Then you bring your negative 4 over to divide, and y is a positive 1. So now our solution then, x6, y1. We found the solution to the set of equations. Okay, so on the next example, let's practice changing the signs again to make sure you've got that down. On this one, the x's have the same coefficient, but not opposite signs. So we're going to multiply a negative 1 times the bottom equation first. And I did that again, but the parentheses too close. And when I do a negative 1 times everything on the bottom, it changes the signs. All of them become a negative because they were all positive. And so now that I've applied the negative 1, I can get rid of it. That's kind of what we call subtraction. You're changing the signs on everything on the bottom. Now when I put them together, my x's are gone. 5y minus 2y is 3y, and negative 3 and negative 6 is a negative 9. And then divide by 3, and we get y is negative 3. Now we're going to come up here. I'm going to use the top equation. 2x plus 5 times our negative 3 goes here, equals negative 3. And we'll get 2x minus 15 equals negative 3. We'll add 15. 2x remains. That's gone. And then negative 3 plus positive 15 gives us a positive 12. Divide by 2. And this time x is 6. So our solution is 6, negative 3. It doesn't matter if you solve for y or x first. That's what makes these kind of neat. All right, you're also going to see word form where you need to write out a set of 2 equations and find 2 numbers. So the sum of 2 numbers is 28 and their difference is 4. Well, sum means add. So you're going to take 2 numbers. You're going to like x and y. Since they're 2 separate numbers, we're going to name them differently. We're going to be x and y and add them in equaling 28. And their difference, so the same 2 numbers, but their difference is 4. And then you'll use elimination. Y's cancel because they're opposite signs. The x's become 2x. 28 and 4 make 32. Divide by 2, and you'll get x is 16. Once you have x is 16, plug it up here into one of your equations. 16 plus y equals 28. Well, that means you'll subtract your 16, and you will get y equals 12. Those are your 2 numbers, 16 and 12. And if you actually try it, if you add them, you get 28. And if you subtract them, you get 4. So there's the answer. It's not an ordered pair. It's just 2 numbers. And then you'll get one puts a little more process to it. 4 times one number, that'd be a 4x, added to another number, so added to y or x, or I'm not x, but I mean a or z or whatever variable you want, is 36. Then 3 times the first number. This means you have to use the same variable, so 3x minus the other number, so minus y, is 20. And find the numbers. We put them up, and of course, obviously, our y's are gone. We get 7 x's. We get a total of 56. Divide by 7. X is 8. And when we plug it in, 4 times 8 plus y equals 36. 4 times 8 is 32 plus y. And we'll subtract our 32 and get 4. Y is 4. So our two numbers would be 8 and 4. And you can try that out, see if it works for both equations. That's your lesson. I'll see you in class.